How can a fiber optics network testing, monitoring, and analytics firm generate leads and meetings? So, how does a fiber optics network testing, monitoring, and analytics firm generate more leads and meetings? That's a fantastic question. So, fiber optics network testing, monitoring, and analytics. So your company is in the information technology part, the IT part of the data center industry, specifically in and around telecommunications and network infrastructure. How fiber optics comes into facilities. So you probably spend time talking about interconnects and cross connects and internet exchanges and peering and meet me rooms and all that good stuff. So your expertise is around the testing and monitoring and analytics. The way I would approach it is I would look at where your company has succeeded the best in the past. What kinds of data center related companies have been most successful with your testing, monitoring, and analytics services? When you're able to do that, you'll be able to back into, at a company level, what these firms have in common. Where are they located? How big or how small are they? And what kinds of industries, what kinds of business models do they tend to have in common? From there, you should be able to document your ideal client profile, your ICP, which would allow you to build out a target account list, a target company list of those firms that don't yet know that you exist, or maybe some of them know you exist, but are not currently doing business with your company, that you think would be a phenomenal fit for your fiber optics network testing, monitoring, and analytics services. So maybe it's a few dozen, maybe it's a few hundred, maybe it's a few thousand companies. And then within those individual companies, who are the kinds of individuals that we need to educate and build trust with? Are they CTOs of really small companies? Are they IT managers? Are they infrastructure, VPs of infrastructure? Are they telecommunications executives? Only you can answer that. And that will largely depend on the size of the data center entities that you're selling to. The smaller entities, you'll be reaching out to and looking to build relationships with people that wear a lot of different hats. And if you're selling to huge companies, let's say you're selling to Equinix or Digital Realty or NTT or Switch or something like that, then yeah, the roles will be a lot more specialized. So this is where defining where you've been most successful, your case studies, testimonials, reviews, defining your ideal client profile, where that comes into play in defining how granular you approach your segmentation and your buyer personas. So if you're looking to generate more leads and more productive meetings, it really comes down to getting very specific about the companies that we want to be selling to and the individuals within those companies that need to know that we exist, and where we can educate and build trust with those kinds of individuals. And we'll bucket them together, we'll group them together, we'll define our segmentation strategy based on what those individuals have in common, not necessarily by their job title, but what common goals that they have that they're working on, that if they get right, could get them a big promotion. If they screw up, could get them an opposite promotion, what their biggest challenges and struggles are. That's what allows us to define the buyer personas. And the people that are on a decision committee will typically, some of them will be a primary buyer persona, some of them could be a secondary buyer persona, but they all in some way, shape, or form interact with each other, and they all have some kind of influence on what kind of company gets chosen for fiber optics network testing and monitoring and analytics. So the goal is to lean into the idea that your buyers no longer want to spend a lot of time with your sales team until they're at the absolute end of their research and decision-making process. Gartner, for example, found that 83% of a typical purchase decision is now over before vendor contact or sales contact. The way we get around that is we can't show up as sales professionals or marketing professionals anymore. We need to show up as consultants, as teachers, as subject matter experts, as trusted advisors. And the way that we're able to do that is we need to intensely focus on what's in it for them. We need to look at whatever you're currently doing that comes across as selfish, and we need to get rid of that. And we need to have extreme empathy for what the most important stakeholders at these companies care about when it comes to fiber optic network testing and monitoring and analytics. And we need to provide amazing helpful educational resources and experiences that feel a lot more like they're interacting with someone from a big four consulting firm and a lot less than just a vendor who's trying to close them on a transaction. Like big four might be like PwC, EY, KPMG, kind of Deloitte. It should feel that good, that elite. The most seasoned, the most experienced people on your team can be positioned as thought leaders. The more junior people on your teams should be the amazing tour guides and concierges of all of your great educational resources that you have available to help people learn all about fiber optic network testing and monitoring and analytics. And early on, your buyer personas, they have goals they're trying to figure out. They have questions that they're trying to answer. They have stressors or challenges or struggles that they need to figure out how they're going to address. In the middle of their journey, they get a little more specific on the solutions category, and they start comparing the different options that are available in front of them. And at the decision stage, when they get to like that 83% point, then and only then are they ready to look at product related information. Then and only then are they typically ready to talk with someone from your sales team. So we need to figure out a way to get in early and get in often so we own as much of that surface area and awareness and consideration as possible, and not just in the decision stage. 28 touch points between complete stranger and purchase decision. We need to figure out a way to crush it, to dominate it, to own as many of those 28 touch points as possible so that these buyers want to spend time with members of your team, as opposed to you having to chase those prospects and beg them to spend time from your team. And it really comes down to transforming yourself so that you're able to be seen as the go-to experts in the marketplace at the intersection of fiber optic network testing, monitoring, and analytics for anything and everything to do with data center related facilities. So in most cases, these are cultural decisions that need to start from the top down, depending on your company's size. If your company's below a few hundred employees, almost certainly like a CEO or chief commercial officer or chief revenue officer or someone like that leads the charge and be the internal champion on this. If you're a huge company, then yeah, it's like a VP or division managing director or partner or something like that. But these are top-down kind of initiatives. For most companies, they're big culture changes of being able to say that nobody needs us to read the website to them anymore. Nobody needs us to give them the exact same sound bites that they can get from navigating all these self-propelled, self-driven buyer's journey type of things. And we know that these preferences are a big deal because McKinsey found 70 to 80% of decision makers now prefer this virtual journey, and that continues to accelerated a ton during the first few years of the 2020s when everyone was spending a ton of time at home. But it continues to accelerate as people want to be more in the driver's seat when it comes to how they research and make their purchase decisions. So for your company to be successful in generating productive, qualified leads and meetings where you've already educated and built trust, and they're coming to the meetings having already absorbed your methodology and are already indoctrinated and bought into your way of thinking. And in most cases, your resources have been so exceptionally good that they've already been passed around to other members of the committee. So by the time you show up to the meeting, they already know, like, and trust you. They already know, like, and trust your company. And they're literally quoting something that they learned from your downloadable ebook or planning guide or your webinar series, because you've become the gold standard of how they judge all the other available options in this space when it comes to other companies that are involved with fiber network testing, monitoring, and analytics. When you're able to achieve that, you will be providing the kind of experience, the kind of customer experience, the kind of prospect experience that your data center related buyers are looking for. You'll for sure make sure that you're on the short list. In some cases, the experience may be so exceptionally valuable that you may have neutralized all of the available competitive options that are in front of those particular buyers. But if you're serious about growing your business with fiber optics network testing, monitoring, and analytics in today's marketplace, and you want to be able to generate great leads and great productive meetings for your sales team that get you teed up for the best possible closing experience, where they sail through your customer success, your account management process, super smooth onboarding. They get initial, intended value, extended value, phenomenal digital word of mouth from that relationship, great account expansion capabilities, great upsell, cross-sell, all that stuff. It really starts with at the beginning, understanding who they are, what they care about, how we can provide a ton of value long before they even know that our company exists, so that we own mindset in a way that truly makes your competition envious, scratching their head and wondering, like, how are they doing this? How are they growing so quickly? And you'll know your secret sauce is that you figured out a way for your sales and marketing, your whole go-to-market team, your product channel partnerships, everyone that's involved in client facing, to no longer just be focused on closing a transaction, but instead be focused on building your brand exceptionally well, as educating and building trust with the most important people that are involved with anything and everything having to do with fiber optics in and around a particular data center.